Chapter is called Build Your Own Castle, and the subtitle is Envy. So here we go. 3 scenarios. Which would irk you the most? A. Your friend's salary increase. Yours stayed the same. B. Their salary stayed the same. Yours too. C. Their average salaries are cut. Yours is too. If you answered A, don't worry, that's perfectly normal. You're just another victim of the green-eyed monster. The envy. 3-Step Poor Dad. That's the book that I always wanted to read for you. And I have, obviously, as you can see, the Chinese version. So I am studying Chinese, which is really exciting. But you probably don't speak Chinese. And even if you do, you'd probably prefer I read in English. So we have The Art of Thinking Clearly. We're on chapter 86. I need to not touch the table because I make the video shake because the computer is on a standing desk that I can raise and lower. So yes. Okay, so today's chapter is called Build Your Own Castle, and the subtitle is Envy. So here we go. 3 scenarios. Which would irk you the most? A. Your friend's salary increase. Yours stayed the same. B. Their salary stayed the same. Yours too. C. Their average salaries are cut. Yours is too. If you answered A, don't worry, that's perfectly normal. You're just another victim of the green-eyed monster. The envy. Here is a Russian tale. A farmer finds a magic lamp. He rubs it, and out of thin air appears a genie who promises to grant him 1 wish. The farmer thinks about this for a little while. Finally, he says, "My neighbor has a cow, and I have none. I hope that his drops dead." As absurd as it sounds, you can probably identify with the farmer. Admit it. A similar thought must have occurred to you at some point in your life. Imagine your colleague scores a big bonus and you get a gift certificate. You feel envy. This creates a chain of irrational behavior where you refuse to help him any longer, sabotage his plans, perhaps even puncture the tires of his Porsche, and you secretly rejoice when he breaks his leg skiing. Of all the emotions, envy is the most idiotic. Why? Because it is relatively easy to switch off. This is in contrast to anger, sadness, or fear. Envy is the most stupid of vices, for there's no single advantage to be gained from it, writes Balzac, the French author. In short, envy is the most sincere type of flattery. Other than that, it's a waste of time. Many things spark envy: ownership, status, health, youth, talent, popularity, beauty. Very quickly, so for me, I'm not sure if you read the chapter together with me, and you can watch the recording on YouTube at the Passive Cashflow, at the Passive Cashflow Club. Yes, at the Passive Cashflow Club. And I told the story of a time where I had an envelope and it had something pleasurable, and then it had some advertising on it, and it made me want to go to this company that was advertising. And it was so weird. And so by realizing it, I was able to take a step back. And we can do this with every emotion and everything that happens to us. So when we are feeling envious, we can take a step back and observe it, and then do something about it based on the fact that we have taken that step back and observed it. If we are feeling anger, we can take a step back and observe it and understand. And when we understand, we can do something about it. I always like to say as well that when you have anger management issues, until you admit that you have an anger issue, until you admit that you are angry, you're not going to be able to do anything about it. If I do not weigh myself, then I can't do anything to lose weight because I don't know what my weight is to be able to compare it to what I've done to see whether I am progressing or not. So envy, same thing. We need to take a step back, observe it, have a think about it, realize that it's happening, and then we can do something about it. It is often confused with jealousy because the physical reactions are identical. The difference? The subject of envy is a thing: status, money, and health. The subject of jealousy is the behavior of a third person. Envy needs 2 people. Jealousy, on the other hand, requires 3. Peter is jealous of Sam because the beautiful girl next door rings him instead. Paradoxically, with envy, we direct resentments towards those who are most similar to us in age, career, and residence. We don't envy business people from the century before last. We don't begrudge plants or animals. We don't envy millionaires on the other side of the globe. lest those on the other side of the city. As a writer, I don't envy musicians, managers, or dentists, but other writers. As a CEO, you envy other, bigger CEOs. As a supermodel, you envy more successful supermodels. Aristotle knew this. Potters envy potters, he said. This brings us to a classic practical error. Let's say your financial success allows you to move from one of New York's grittier neighborhoods to Manhattan's Upper East Side. In the first few weeks, you enjoy being in the center of everything and how impressed your friends are with your new apartment and address. But soon you realize that apartments of completely different proportions surround you. You have traded in your old peer group for one that is much richer. Things start to bother you that you haven't bothered you before. Envy and status anxiety are the consequences. How do you curb envy? First, stop comparing yourself to others. Very important and very good thing to do. I have, and it is very liberating. Second, find your circle of competence and fill it on your own. Create a niche where you are the best. Don't completely agree with that one, because I think you need people that are on your level, but also people that are higher, so that you can not envy them, but that you can learn from them in order to become a better person. Not a more materialistic person, but to become a better person so that you can do more for others and for yourself and all of those different things. It doesn't matter how small your area of mastery is. The main thing is that you are the king of the castle. Again, don't have to be. Like all emotions, envy has its origin in our evolutionary past. If the hominid from the cave next door took a bigger share of the mammoth, it meant less for the loser. Envy motivated us to do something about it. Laissez-faire hunter-gatherers disappeared from the gene pool. In extreme cases, they died of starvation, while others feasted. We are the offspring of the envious. But in today's world, envy is no longer vital. We have supermarkets and shops, and we can get anything at the click of a finger. If my neighbor buys himself a Porsche, it doesn't mean that he has taken anything from me. That is an extremely important part to realize, that when we are envious of somebody, it doesn't mean that it's an issue for us because of something that we have lost. When I find myself suffering pangs of envy, my wife reminds me, it's okay to be envious, but only of the person you aspire to become. And that, I will say, I 100% agree with. So only compete with yourself. Look to see what you can do to be better today than you were yesterday. If you compare yourself to somebody else who is much more successful, learn from them, grow, but don't be envious of them, because it stops your growth and it prevents you from being able to get better. And it prevents you from actually being able to achieve the things that they are achieving, rather than helping you to discover what you really want for yourself. That's the other problem with envy, is that when you're envious of somebody, you desire what they have and who they are, rather than what you want. And we don't need the things necessarily that other people have. We desire different things. We don't all want to achieve the same things. We don't all want to have the same things. So that is really important to keep in mind. So we're going to be putting this video up on YouTube, as always, and you can find it at the Passive Cashflow Club. You can find other chapters that I've been reading from this book, including the one where I tell the story of the envelope with the wine labels that I mentioned in this video. You can find that at the Passive Cashflow Club as well. And tomorrow we're going to be reading chapter 87, which is really exciting. Why you prefer novels to statistics. And the subtitle is Personification. And then if you would like to know what I'm up to and follow me and see different things that I'm doing, you can find me on Instagram, and you can find me there at business_team_6_official, just the number 6. And you can also private message me. I am looking forward to hearing from you, getting to know you. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, leave a comment. Yes, get in touch on Instagram, and feel free to DM me. I love getting to know new people and people who are a part of this community and who have watched me read. And I'd love to know your thoughts as well. I'd love to know what kind of other books, because we are getting very close to the end of this one. So I'd love to know what else you'd like me to read. And I would love to go down the path of more financial books. Let me know, because I am grateful to you for joining, and I do this for you. And it's a great way to start the day. So I hope that you are energized and ready to go out and achieve something, another small step towards your goals for this week. And yeah, thank you for joining. As always, I will see you tomorrow, and have a great day today.